Now they've gone back to Western.
Here, yeah.
3, 4.
Oh shit, there's loads here. Right there. Didn't make it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back. Get just play mid range. Aha! Do you hear that? Play mid range. Now we were pushing up to that corner, right by the wall, spotted 4 players, and if we were using Lady Deaths, holding that corner would have been the best choice. We'd try and pick off the 1 or 2 guys to push out first, and then push in and finish them off. But we're using assault rifles. And the key to succeeding with assault rifles is to play outside of an SMG's player's range. Intimidate and Adrenaline Rush both proc within 10 meters, so if you stay outside of 10 meters, you should be fine. Also, if they're running Unbreakable and Fireball, you're not going to get set on fire. The builds I'm going to be showing you are not going to include hazard protection. So you want to stay outside of the ranges, which they are effective, so then you're going to be able to beam them down. So let's just get on with the intro so you can see what I mean.
Yep. I don't know why you pushed up that close. It's low.
I wasn't expecting them to be that close.
Of course they were, you see their nameplate.
Oh my god, I think I'm aimbotting. Getting back a little bit, guy on the left. Pushing your, shooting your guy. Your guy dead. Look at this. Look at this teamwork, bro. Oh, I got props. Okay.
There's a sniper close somewhere. I don't know where.
In above you here. Where's your guy?
What? He shot. Did you see that? He shot straight through my shield. Like my shield wasn't even there.
Yep.
He shot straight through it. Trojan sniper.
That was weird, wasn't it?
Did you see that there? I had my shield out. He was shooting my shield and it was doing direct damage to me.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that.
That fuck.
If I don't survive this.
You should have just railed with the head, like you were literally on his head with the ED.
No, that's so close to killing him. Hey, we were saying, yeah, pretty decent intro that one, yeah? Yeah, you like it? Cool. Well, hey everyone, what's going on? And I've got to bring you guys a build video, but before I do, I want to do a little self-promotion here. I put out a video sniping the tryhards of the Dark Zone, and I was hoping you'd get a little bit more views. It's caught some of my best sniper clips going back a month or so, and I hope you guys, you know, after this would like to check it out, because it is an excellent video. Really, like, I don't know if there is better sniper, you know, gameplay, especially not the Dark Zone, on YouTube. I don't think it's there. If anyone would like to find some sniper gameplay that is comparable to it, please send it in to me. Just drop it in a comment in the comment section below. But yeah, please, if you want to see some sniper gameplay in the Dark Zone, solo and group play against good players, yeah, check it out. So, here we are. Stat distribution is 2-4. We're using one of each different kind of piece, all the best for damage output. This is how you achieve maximum damage, highest damage possible. Yes, the Contract and the Fox's Prayer are unfortunately still the best in stock pieces for damage output. I've done the numbers, I've done the testing. Other setups come really close. For example, if you go for 2-3 Prov and a Grupo, you get the extra crit damage. That's also very good. If you can squeeze in a couple of Walker and Harris in there instead of one of the named pieces and a Prov, especially if you're not good at hitting the head, you maybe want to go for more body shot damage. It's absolutely fine. I'm going to show you guys all about that in a second. But yeah, when you're making a damage focused build, what do you have? Well, you have critical hit damage, you have headshot damage, you have crit chance, and you have the multiplicative damage values, whether it be from talents, the brand set attributes, the named ones, and the Firewall Shield. Again, this is 11% damage debuff on the enemy. It's multiplicative and independent of any other stat. All of these things multiply together, especially with In Sync, the absolute best damage talent in the game, and if you're not using it, you're doing it wrong. Guys, you're doing it wrong. So yeah, definitely want damage targets out of cover on there. All of these things multiply together, and they really do, they add up, leading you to spec into blues and still deal a lot of damage. You want to spec into blues because the shield is meta, and I think it's a good meta, personally. I think a couple of changes need to be made. I think the shield should be a little bit lower to make it easier for people to land headshots, because right now, if you're using an assault rifle that has recoil, like the Eagle Bearer with the shield, it does raise your shield up to the point where you force the enemy to go for to shoot the tip of your head in order to hit you. I don't think it should be like that. They should be able to shoot your chin or your nose and still hit you in the head. But yeah, at the moment, kind of doing a bit too much, but it's the way it is. And it forces people to aim better. So in a way, I'm not really complaining. I'm happy if it stays the way it is for a little while longer. So you need to get blues on your build. One of the versions that I've been running recently is this right here. 5 blues. 5 blues keeps your shield up for longer, and the longer your shield is up, the more damage you block and the more damage you can then dish out because you're not running away to medkit. So you want to keep that in mind. You want to have loads of blues. At the very least, run a 3-3 version. I have been toying with a 3-3 version that looks a bit like this with headshot. You can go crit damage, that's absolutely fine. This is really hard hitting with the foul, in sync, fireball, you know, all the multiplicative multiplying together with your coyotes. I deal 300k with a single concussion proc. 300k on players, 3-3. Insane damage. And the intro clip was 3-3. I'm not sure if it was everything like this. I have been changing things around. I change things around all the time. Not drastically different, but just minor changes in order to combat the enemies that I'm facing. You want to make a base build like this, and then you want to fine-tune a piece here, add a blue, take away coyotes, add coyotes, maybe add soys if you're running against EMP. You want to change your build to adapt to your enemies. If you can adapt to your enemies, you are going to do well. Better than they are going to do against you. So, starting with the Fenris piece. The core piece for all assault rifle builds. Pretty box standard, shouldn't have to explain, 10% assault rifle damage. Even though it is additive to your weapon damage, it's still the best piece for an assault rifle build. And then what is the second piece you want to go for? You want Cheska. Cheska gives you 10% critical hit chance, which is the absolute best place to get crit chance. You want it from your brand set, and not when your attribute, well, you only use your attributes to finish up, to top up your crit chance. You use your brand set bonuses to get the bulk of your crit chance. I say bulk, you get 10 from the watch, you get 10 from the eagle bearer, you get 10 from Cheska, you get 10 from coyotes, and I get 3 crit chance rolls to top me off. This will put me at 48 crit chance, and the coyotes will give me the 10 at mid range. That's 15 to 25 meters, which is where you want to be fighting with an assault rifle anyway. Or at the very least, have somebody on your team playing at that range, ensuring that you get the crit chance. Then what you could do is you could push up close range, you get the 25 proc and gain even more damage. That's definitely a way of doing things. Once you've established your crit chance and your base damage, you then have 3 more pieces you want to spec into. Of course, you want to go with a prov. I think the headshot damage you get from this is so good. And the other reason you want to run a single prov is if you need to swap out your coyotes for an extra blue, or you already have a coyotes or you don't want to run it, you can switch up for a blue or even a red one. It doesn't really matter. It can be a red, it's okay. But ideally you want to have a blue second prov. That's going to bump your crit chance natively to 58. And that's really, really nice because it makes your build a bit more consistent, more reliable. Also, it means that you can run a better Fox's Prayer. So I don't know about you guys, but because Fox's rolls with the red, you're more likely to have better Foxes that are red than you are to have the ones that are blue. I only have one blue one, and it's only a mediocre headshot damage roll. But the extra blue definitely makes up for the mediocre secondary attribute because it makes your shield stronger, and I've already explained why that's really good. So once you've established your crit chance, your headshot damage there, your weapon damage and your crit chance again, you're left with 2 pieces. And of course, everybody at this point has got to have a contractor and a Fox's Prayer. If you don't, I don't know what you've been doing all this time. You should have a pair. Ideally, you'll get them with blue. If you don't, then you need to make up the blues elsewhere. If you have too many reds and too little blues, your shield ain't going to do shit, right? It's going to block half a magazine. It's going to put you in a stun animation, making you lose damage. You're going to get hit. You're going to retreat. They're going to close in on you. You're not going to be able to play mid-range. You can't play to the strengths of your weapon if you don't have the range. So, contractors, unfortunately, the multiplicative values multiplying all against each other, they simply do too much, and it cannot be made up by using crit values. Yes, using crit, 3 prov and a grupo is definitely viable for damage output. As you can see, the damage, 58 crit chance almost 180 crit damage and 140 headshot damage, whew, you're going to be shredding anyway. This might actually deal more damage to the head than my version, but my version deals more damage whichever part of the body that you're shooting. And even though I am more of a headshot gamer, I do still prefer to be more consistent across the board. So if you don't have named items, you can go with Gruppo, and well, more crit damage, more headshot damage. I actually have headshot crit on this, I have headshot crit on this, I have headshot crit on this, and these are crit chance, crit chance, crit chance. Where if you run things like this, you free up your Cheska to be used in any of these 3 slots. So you could run the Cheska on the gloves. The problem with running it with the named items is you are forced to run your Cheska on your holster due to the fact that Cheska on these 3 pieces roll with a blue mod. And until next patch, when they make the mods colourless, which is a big talking point, soon to come, but not yet, you're going to have to hope that your Cheska rolls with, with everything perfect, and the mod. Sorry, and the talent, so you can roll the mod. You don't want a blue mod. If you have a blue mod, you are wasting crit damage. 12% crit damage, 6 crit damage, or a potential of 10 headshot damage. You can't be losing that. With an SMG build, you can afford to sacrifice a little bit. It's not a big deal, but when it comes to AR, everything has to be prim and proper. Yes, for the chest talents, you still want to stick with Unbreakable. Damage talents like Gunslinger or Spotter, they're okay, but Spotter requires you to run a Pulse or Technician Laser Pointer, then you can't get it with your Eagle Bearer. And this inconsistency, plus the fact that you can't medkit and run, yeah, it's not that great. You still want to use Fireball. Survivalist ain't the worst thing in the world, but Firewall's still the best. You set people on fire when they do get close to you to help you when you are at your most vulnerable position. Yeah, there's a lot of things going for using Firewall, plus you get the 11%, with the mod, of course. You guys should be aware of the mod that you get on the Firewall shield. 5% damage bonus per enemy. It's actually damage debuff per enemy. Well, it's a damage bonus, but it applies as a debuff. And so you could run things like this. Again, if you run into a Sawyer's player, if you run into an EMP player, as an EMP sticky, and they're staggering you, or if you're all round staggering quite a bit to other stickies or grenades or whatever, seeker mines even, stick on the Sawyers, you're going to lose a little bit of damage, you're going to lose a brand set bonus, but you cannot be staggered. No matter what happens, if you bought enough time for your medkit will go off, right? And yeah, especially if they bring an EMP sticky against you, you put on an EMP sticky against them, you bring out the Sawyers, you have completely countered that playstyle, because believe me when I say that the EMP sticky, as long as you're accurate with it, put a little dot on your screen to help you make sure that you're always landing it, because if you miss this, the 30 seconds that you are going to be without skill. You don't want to be wasting it, alright? The radius isn't huge, it's 4 meters radius, so make sure that you do hit it, stick a little dot on your screen, on-screen monitor crosshair, whatever it is, it will help. So I've covered skills. Of course, if due to the no hazard protection nature of this build, for the most part I do actually run the Hive. The Hive gives you weapon handling, which is great, but it's actually though when the stim or the drone hits you, it cures your status effects. So when players do push close range, or if they're foaming, fire starting, whatever it is that they're doing, especially when with Eclipse, and if someone else dies, they're going to put you on fire. You're going to want to stop yourself from the fire over time, because even though the initial explosion of the fire starter isn't that high anymore, the burn over time is what gets a build like this with no hazard, so you need to have that to fall back on. However, if you have a teammate already running it, you can run something like a decoy and then play an off angle. If you're running decoy, you can afford to run more damage. I do suggest you do run more damage if you're running decoy. Something like this will be really good. 4 and 2 is okay if you're running decoy. Because you're shooting people from the side, you're getting the surprise element on them. But sometimes you get into those fights where everyone knows where you are enemy, and the decoy doesn't really serve its purpose too well, and so you want to switch off, maybe use an EMP sticky or just a Hive. If you're running really high armor, if you're running the 5 blue version of this, something that looks a little more like this, once I get the other blue back on, you're super tanky, 1.7 million. You could actually even run the drone. The drone isn't amazing, but if you're running out of options, it is going to make you tankier. This is going to make you as tanky as 6 blues. So that's really, really good. Plus it's going to reduce the damage to your shield. Your shield will stay up even longer, which means more damage output, more in-sync procs. Yeah, you want to keep it in-sync procs going. So now that I've covered the build, pieces, again, with all your pieces, you need to have crit damage. You always want crit damage first. You only need a few crit chance rolls to cap you out. 3 crit chance rolls. The crit chance from the brand sets, from the chest kit and the 2 prov, the gun and the watch will put you at 58. It's a lovely, consistent crit chance. Rest goes into crit damage in every slot, which leaves you with 1 attribute. I go for headshot, headshot. Yes, you can actually change this mod to crit damage, and change this headshot to crit damage if you have it. And if you're more of a body shot gamer, I do suggest you guys to try your best to aim at the head. If you're on PC, you should be aiming head. You don't have to be amazing at hitting the head. I have my moments where I whiff. I have days where I whiff a lot. I still aim for the head. Alright? It's the only way you're going to get better. Another way you're going to get better is if you go solo rogue against many players. So you want to start out with your higher damage, high-end weapon with in-sync and damage targets out of cover. You're going to deal way more damage than your Eagle Bearer. Believe me, you do deal a lot more damage with these things all combined together. Then when players do finally push close, or you've emptied your mag, you've just about finished the guy, he's dead, you reload, swap mid-reload, have the gun finish the reload in the holster, and then use this to, well, you probably don't have a shield at this point, so get your Eagle Bearer kill, make sure you get the headshot. Now you're on the buff, you live for another 10 seconds. The buff is only 10 seconds in a dark zone, but you do get the reload speed on the kill. For some reason you still have that, that's great, I'm not complaining. Make sure your Eagle Bearer is your secondary, not your primary. If you start out with the Eagle Bearer, you're going to get a headshot kill when you don't want it. You may then be forced to get into a face trade. Well, and if it's a ranged face trade, the guy is probably, if he's semi-decent, he's going to back off and he's going to medkit, leaving you with incoming damage that's going to hit you in one go. So then you swap weapon, boom, you're dead. Whereas you want to prevent yourself from getting that. So either get your kill with the Eagle Bearer, instantly swap off, swap back if you prefer. Staying within the recoil pattern of the Eagle Bearer. One of the problems I do have with this build is I use a gun with the FAL, which is hardly any recoil and hardly any spread. When you go to the Eagle Bearer, I'm taken back by the recoil. Even as a PC player, I'm not expecting it, so I'm not pulling down as much, and so I lose a little bit of control with it. So ideally, you want to use weapons with similar recoil patterns. If the FAL isn't to your liking, what you can do is go with FAMAS. The FAMAS does recoil up and to the right. Consistent, semi-moderate recoil, but it's easy to pull down, and the accuracy is still the best in class for the first 17 shots. After the 17 shots, it does open up a bit, and when you move, it is a bit inaccurate. But the FAMAS is the highest DPS weapon, or assault rifle, to this date. So if you have a FAMAS within sync, use a FAMAS within sync. Another weapon you may want to consider using is the AK variants. All the AKs are really hard hitting, they're really nice to use. Again, initial accuracy while standing still is really good, but it does open up in the end. And when you're shooting and moving, they do open up. And it gets worse and worse the longer you fire, so you don't want to use the AK with sustained fire. Short burst, in sync, shoot a few rounds, back up, strafe a bit, strafe, in sync, strafe a bit, check out the other side, peek left side, shoot, reload, in sync. You don't want to be firing for extended periods, so this is a medium range, close to medium range weapon at most. If you need a long range alternative, definitely use the FAL. Don't even bother using the custom P4, don't use the G36. I'm going to be doing a video using all of these assault rifles, hence why I have them all in my bag. I'm going to show you exactly with video, PvP proof as to why certain guns are worth running and why certain guns are not. This is actually really accurate when you don't move. Look at that. When you shoot the first bullet, it goes doom to a certain accuracy level, but then it doesn't move, doesn't shift. Unfortunately, it does suffer from the minimal accuracy while moving, but it's not that bad compared to the other rifles, or assault rifles. It's really not that bad. It's a bit like the Eagle Bearer. Not as good as the Eagle Bearer. The Eagle Bearer is definitely tighter, doesn't open as much. So yes, you want to use weapons that are accurate while moving. Those include the Eagle Bearer, the SIG, the FAMAS, well not the FAMAS so much, and the FAL. The FAL is just, oh my god, I love this fucking gun. And I've been seeing a lot more people use it as they start to realise how important innate weapon handling or stability or handling characteristics are important. They are really important. Don't sleep on them. So now that I've covered how you need to make your build, what pieces you can use, what pieces you can trade out for, crit damage everywhere, a little bit of crit chance, headshot damage if you can squeeze it in, or maybe balance a little more headshot to crit damage if you are good at hitting headshots. In sync, right, assault rifle, firewall shield. You know, drone, hive, EMP sticky or decoy, those are all solid PvP options. I really do just stick with the hive for the most part. Lots of blue, at the very least 3, 4 is optimal, and 5, if you can land your shots, you're not going to see a damage output decrease, not as much anyway. If you aim body, you don't want to go 5 blues, you're just not going to deal the damage required. So that should cover it. Thank you guys for watching. That was my 4th recording. For some reason my CPU was capped out. I upped the graphics for a build video, only just to waste an hour of my time recording build videos that, well, because my GPU was bottlenecked, it was corrupted. So this should be absolutely fine. And remember to check out my sniper video. The link will be down in the description below. Please remember it. It is an excellent video. I put a lot of effort into it, and it just hasn't quite got the views that I think it deserves. So please go check it out. And let's head on to the final section of PvP on this build video. And yeah, we'll catch you in another time. And you guys, after knowing this, should be good with assault rifles. Fuck the Lady Death meta. They ain't got shit on you. Intimidate and Adrenaline Rush both work within 10 meters. You're just gonna beam them. Just fucking beam them. Look at that. Look at the accuracy on this gun. Oh my god, it's just... I know those NPCs are weak in that, but... You know, normal difficulty, but it doesn't matter. It is an accurate weapon. And yeah, that'll be it. In a bit. I'm at 5 blues at the moment.
Oh yeah?
Mhm. They didn't change my Sawyer's version, which adds 2 blues. Essentially. Or 1 blue. Right, he's pushing on the right. I'm gonna charge the Sawyers, they're pushing on my left.
Green.
Pushing you.
And he's pushing them close, yeah.
Super weak. It's yours.
Finished him.
Pushing on the right again. I beamed him as well. Oh my god, I fucking beamed him as well.
Yep. He waited me last made.
Yeah, I'll push with you then. I've got Vampy moving on the left. I'm medkitting. Now right here, my teammate's gone down. The guy is super weak, Mr. Parker. I want to switch to my Eagle Bearer and get the buff to ensure that the second guy that comes along, or even maybe even the third guy, have the smallest chance of killing me as possible.
No, I'm dead. I'm dead.
Fire.
I pushed up too hard. Nice.
That's a med though. Here is a good example in a 2v2 against a couple of fairly decent players. Actually giving us a good fight. And so they start pushing me on the left here. I don't want to fight on left shoulder, so I use this truck to get the right shoulder. Plus I get the vantage point under the fire truck, allowing me to land shots that they can't land on me because they're too close to it. Switch to the Eagle Bearer to get the buff. And I'm feeling pretty confident. I'm not sure if I survive this one. I'm watching this for the first time in a while. I think I get the medkit off. It's probably my kill if I get the medkit. Maybe not. Too much damage. Oh yeah, I had the EB buff. Not sure if he... I think he runs around. Yeah, I think he knows to... Oh no, I do get the kill. But I still die. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. The EB buff allowed me to get the extra kill. Whereas in other situations, I wouldn't be able to. I'm gonna have to make it. Pushing you, I think. No? Pushing these two. Oh no, it's just three guys, pull back. Nice shots. I'm coming with you here.
Only голова. Only catch.